Okay, y'all, it's been a while since I've done a running podcast, but I feel inspired while I'm running. So I'm going to stop my run quickly and record this podcast episode. So here's the thing. I think I've recorded this before, but I'm going to do it again because it is still relevant today as it was when I first recorded it. Here's the deal. When you are creating a course, a program, a coaching program, anything that you are packaging and creating for your customers or your employees, the content that you get, right? So like the content, the source content that you get and assemble with, here's all the information you want to share, here are all the facts, all the key points, all the diagrams, all of the things. All of those things are just the raw materials. It does not make a course. It does not make a program. It does not make any type of deliverable or packaged option for your people ever. So I have audited and worked on probably thousands of courses at this point. And I recently have been doing, I don't know, maybe 10 at one time. And they all are tripping on the same problem. Is everyone who is an expert is really good at finding all of the information, all the facts, all of the bullet points, all of the diagrams, all the things. And what happens is then you try and put that into some, I don't know, maybe a PowerPoint deck or some sort of packaged thing, and you just dump that content, that information into a deck, maybe add some cute little pictures, and you're like, all right, good, we're good to go. Let's package this sucker up. Sometimes people just record videos of themselves, and maybe they're using content, maybe they're not, maybe they're just going off of the cuff based on their expertise. But here's the deal, is all of that is just the raw materials. So I like to think about it like baking a cake, right? So when you bake a cake, you don't just throw a bunch of stuff in a bowl and then put it in the oven, right? You have to collect your ingredients. They have to be the right quantity of ingredients. And then you mix it together into the new format. You don't just take your flour and put the flour in the oven and then call it a cake. Sorry, bug. So that's the analogy that I use. And so often when we're working with people, that's the very first thing that we're doing is we're like, okay, great. You have the expertise, you have all the content, you have all the stuff. How do we make it into a learning experience or a customer experience or an employee experience, whatever you want to call it, that helps them go from the problem that they're trying to solve to the result? And that's a completely different way of thinking about how do you sequence your content, how do you put it into a format that people can actually consume it. Because here's the thing, is that your job, if you're an expert, is to provide somebody the fastest path to results, the fastest path to success, whatever that looks like. And in order to do that, you have to simplify all of your amazing knowledge and all of your amazing content. And if you don't simplify it for them, you're not going to get your message across, right? They're not going to get results. Therefore, they're not going to think that what they're spending their time on is worth it. So they're going to question your expertise. So it doesn't matter who your audience is, but you have to look at all of your content as if you're baking a cake. So collect it all, look at all of it, sequence it, and then say, how do I make this more simple in what we call an authority framework, right? So if you have an authority framework, you are sequencing it for your people to be like, here's the step-by-step path for how you go from here to here. If you can do that, then you've won the game because you have just given somebody the ability to get a result without having to hunt around. Imagine if when somebody took your package thing, whatever it is, and they thought, oh, that wasn't any better than going out to Google and Googling it, or going out to ChatGPT and asking ChatGPT for all this information. So the value add is that you're distilling it down. You're baking a cake out of all of those random pieces of facts and information and bullet points and diagrams and all of the things. So there you go. That is my tip for you today. So if you are trying to scale your expertise, if you are trying to package your thing into something that other people not only can consume, but will get results, that is the place to start. So there you go. Start baking your cake.